Hi everybody, it's Nicole from No Time for DIY, and I'm here with video number 2 of what I am calling our Doodle Dress Sew-Along. It's a sew-along for Butterick pattern 3350, and I'm doing view G, and that's the one that I'm documenting. You can do whatever view you want to. I think view G is probably the simplest for beginners, which is what this sew-along is geared to. So last week we finished our video with just learning about where to find certain information on the package and getting started cutting out our pattern pieces themselves to get ready to cut our fabric pieces, which we will sew. And that's where we're starting off this week. We're going to use our pattern pieces that we have cut to arrange them on our fabric and cut out the pieces that we need, and we're going to start sewing our bodice. This video will just go over how to arrange the pieces. You're looking at the instructions in front of me. We're going to go over these fun little rectangular diagrams that the instructions give you. And then if you head on over to notimefordiy.com when you're finished watching this video, you can see some instructions and some clarifications on the instructions for how to sew the bodice. Okay, let's get started. You have your pattern pieces cut. What you want to do is look with me on your instructions on page 1 of 4 on the second column. They have something called fabric cutting layouts, and what they're doing for you in these layouts is they're showing you how you can arrange your pieces, your pattern pieces, that's this, that you've cut out, so that you don't waste any fabric. You utilize your fabric to the best of your ability, and they're also showing you whether or not it needs to be cut on the fold, what side of the fabric it needs to be cut on. There's a good amount of information there. So here's the key that the instructions give you. And the first part right here, it says right side of pattern. That means when you're looking at the rectangular layout, if you are looking at the pattern piece on that layout and it shows you that it's blank or white like this, they want you to lay the pattern piece down so you're looking at the right side. This is a little dotted area. That means they want you to lay it down so that you're looking at the wrong side. Here we have the gray area. Now we're talking about fabric. If you see that gray, dark gray area, that's the right side of the fabric you're looking at. And if it's, again, the fabric that you're looking at on the layout and it's blank, then that's the wrong side of the layout. So for your view, find the fabric layout. They're listed in order here. Mine is actually, since it's the last one, it's actually on the other side. Here we go. Dress G. They give you two options. Again, last week we talked about the fact that sometimes you can have fabric cut at 45 inches wide at the store. So you would have 45-inch yard or 60 inches wide. I had a 45-inch wide piece of fabric cut, so this is the layout that I used. And if you can see right away that here's all the different colors. You've got the dots, you've got the blank areas, you've got the dark gray area. So what they're telling you is they want you, first of all, to fold this fabric. You can see it's folded over. And if you look right up here, this is a white area of the fabric, and behind it is the dark area. So they want you to fold it over so that the right side is on the inside, is inward. Okay, but there's also something else they're telling you about the way they want it folded. That little S/L, that's telling you that back here on this back corner and along this back side, that's where they want the selvage edge. And the selvage edge, if you've never seen or known what that is, here's a piece of fabric. This is the selvage edge of the fabric. It's that white area. Sometimes there's writing on it, sometimes not. Mine doesn't have writing, but that's what it looks like. Feels a little different. And that's the selvage edge. So what they want you to do is they want you, when you lay out your fabric, to lay it out so that the selvage edge is along the back there and that it's folded with the right side on the inside. I'm using a small piece of fabric, just a fat quarter, because it's easier to show you on this video. So that's the idea right there. Okay, you're starting out like that. The next thing that they're telling you is you're going to take the pieces that you cut for your view and arrange them on the fabric based on this diagram and based on how they should be, whether they should be facing up or down. So for number 6, they're telling you that it's dotted, and if you recall back on the key for dotted, that's the wrong side of the pattern. Let me give you an example. I have pattern piece 9 out. There's 9. They want you to arrange number 9 right over there on the edge of that folded fabric. And they want you to arrange it so that you're looking at the wrong side of the pattern piece. So you can see my 9 is on the other side. It's backwards there. And that's right. You're looking at the wrong side of the pattern piece, and you can see it matches up shape-wise as well. There's something else they want you to do. See how it's right along that bottom edge? That means they want it on the fold of the fabric. That's F right there, F/P, that means fold. So they want you to arrange it on the fold of the fabric, and you can see that there, and you can also see that right here where they tell you center fold. So that what they're saying is that fold will be in the center. This is going to be one piece, and this is the center of that piece. You can also see that it tells you on the fabric how many to cut. So here, for fabric, cut 1 on fold, lining, cut 1 on fold. And so there you have on your fabric, for your outer fabric, you're going to cut 1 piece that's going to open up to be the front of the bodice. And then for your lining, they have right down here for dress G, your lining fabric, they have you folding it, and they have you cutting it out on your lining piece as well. So there's your 2 pieces, if that makes any sense. Okay, so that's the basic idea, and I just want to call your attention to when you're cutting, you want to pin the piece really well to the fabric so it doesn't move around at all. And once it's pinned really well in the spot that it needs to be pinned, I take my rotary cutter and very slowly and carefully cut out. But you want to look very carefully. There's one thing that you should know. These little triangular notches right there, anytime you see those, make a little triangle that sticks out right there when you cut. That's going to help you match things up later on with your other pieces. So if you see a notch, just notch this way and cut so that you've got a little triangle sticking out there. And I already cut my pieces, so I can't show you that because I've already started sewing because I wanted to be ahead of the game and I didn't do that part. But that's the idea. Pin it, cut around, make sure you mark those notches. And when you are finished, and what I do is, unless I need to use the piece over again for, say for the lining, for this one I would have to do it for the lining as well, but I don't remove it from the fabric until I'm ready to use the fabric piece to start sewing. So try to keep it on there so you don't get confused as to what pieces you have. Okay, one other word of advice and we're done. If you have fabric that has a pattern that it matters which direction the pattern is going, just make sure that you look at that, because you don't want to have your pattern be upside down on the dress or anything like that, which has happened to me. So, okay, I think that's it. Head on over to notimefordIY.com to look at some pictures as far as how to, once you have all this cut out, how to sew it together and start constructing your bodice. Thanks for visiting, and we will see you again soon.